Welcome to the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's at his ideal weight if he were 10 feet tall, beef loaf. Never holding but always partaking, not hungry but will eat, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's aged and smells like a sharp cheddar, Terezi E.
Thank you, Quincy, and welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit, and whatever the fuck My Sock Summer has on his head.
Yeah, man!
Remember the drinking rules. If people says allegedly, or that he wrote a blog about that, you drink.
Yes.
My Sock Summer talks about bobbleheads, mentions his time on the West Coast, doesn't know a player's name, or tells us where the fuck he got this hat from. And if I swear or say, here's the thing, and I already swore, you drink. Beefloaf, how you doing tonight?
Boys, I'm doing great. Now, people listening might think that the reason why I'm doing great is because I called the points bet, by the way, promo code 108ing, on back-to-back nights. I got the home run bet correct. I picked Luis Robert on Tuesday night. I picked Tim Anderson on Wednesday night. I won about $1,000, but that's not it. You might be thinking that the reason why I'm so excited right now is that the McRib is back November 1st, but that's also not it. Another reason why you might think the Beefloaf is super happy today is because it's National Podcasting Day, and we have already met our YouTube goal of 1,000 subscribers. Great thing that we've done. That's not it either. You might think it's because we're having the Panayotovich brothers this Sunday doing the Sunday Soak with us. That's not it either. Let me tell you why I'm excited. Tuesday night, I get home, pull into the garage after work. I'm parking my car. I'm listening to Spotify, so I have my phone hooked into the stereo. I unplug the phone kind of right as I'm turning off the car, and I hear Pat Hughes' voice come blaring through the broadcast for doing the Cubs thing on 670. And I heard the tired, running out the season, playing out the string voice of a Pat Hughes doing a Cubs game that doesn't fucking matter. And I just started laughing in my car, and I was like, fuck them. We are playing next week. We're finally not that team who's doing that. And I got so excited and so energetic that we got playoff baseball. We've been waiting for playoff baseball for a long goddamn time. Like I told you, My Sock Summer, it's good to be one of the good teams. And that's why I feel so fucking good right now, baby.
I love that. I thought you were going to say that you were excited that you stole My Sock Summer's internet connection.
Why did I get choppy there for a little bit?
You've still choppy. You look like Max Headroom right now.
Oh, baby!
I mean, it's not just your awesome hair. You might have to jump out and jump back in. All right.
Whoa!
Now it's just me and you.
The two of us.
This is what I had planned for all along.
Yeah, we can make it if we try. We don't need that big nose fuck. He can die. Yeah.
Let's see if he's
Let's get him back in because it looks better somewhat.
It's still a little freezy there. We'll see how you do throughout the show.
All right.
He's in the summer spot. You know what you shouldn't be using though, Loaf? You should not be using your Motorola Razr's camera to go live on the internet anymore. We are past those days, my friend. When you need a Logitech at least.
I see that. I'm looking at myself on the YouTube. I do look a little choppy. On the StreamYard, when looking at you guys, it looks fine to me from my end, but it looks choppy as fuck on YouTube.
It's not. My Sock Summer, how you doing, man?
Oh, dude, I'm feeling great. Obviously, I mean, if I'm wearing a hat with dreads attached to it, I'm in a good mood. So I found this hat actually at a thrift store. I know everyone is surprised, but it was brand new, so much brand new that the dye, when I washed it, got all over some of my clothes and it did not come out. So kind of sucks. So it was a nice $2 buy, but ruined two shirts that cost way more than $2. So they cost $6. So yeah.
Why'd you wash it? Is that something you could just put in the dryer and kill whatever's in there?
I mean, possibly. I thought it would be good to make it clean. You know, like if I'm gonna put something on my head, I don't want lice, so let's try to get rid of all that stuff.
Oh, that's
I
good.
probably could have Lysoled it and it probably would have been fine, but then I was like, let's fuck it, just wash it. So I washed it, it was fine. I got those bags, like the garment bags, like the nice ones that you put it in a bag so that it doesn't get destroyed. But yeah. So anyway, that's not what I want to talk about tonight. Tonight I want to talk about, us in the 108. We don't bring up politics, right? We don't talk about anything political. We don't
That's
really
true.
put out
No.
like anything that is real controversial in that kind of arena. The closest thing we have is every time we talk about the wave and our feelings about it. People go up in arms about us talking or me talking about the wave and saying how much I dislike it. I had a guy come at me today, and he's just being him, right? I'm just being me. I'm saying that this sucks. And they're like, "Whoa, why you gotta police everybody's fun? Why you gotta police my fun?" I'm saying it sucks. And this is the crux, okay?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
This is the crux. And this is what we're dealing with, in today's world. I'm saying it sucks. Somebody else is telling me, you can't say it sucks because I like it. And I'm like, I'm not saying you can't like it. I'm saying that this sucks. So we both have our opinions, and this is what it is. So I read these replies and I read these things that people say, and they're like, oh, well, it doesn't bother you for too long. I think the last guy, Leonard here, it was like, yeah, it only goes on for 2 seconds. I'm like, the fuck it does. It goes on for 25 minutes. And sometimes last night, okay, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to go totally crazy about last night, but I just, the game that we're going to bring it up, and I'll bring it up till the end of fucking time. Michael Kopech trying to get out of something. They fucking start the goddamn wave, gives up a fucking home run. And my lady, your wife, Quernsey jumps up and yells, "Now look what you did." And I loved it. And it my wife is in the camp of we make people uncomfortable when we start yelling at them for doing the wave, so I've taken into consideration and don't necessarily scream at people anymore, but I will boo them. But it is when it's coming around and people are like, well, why do you got to harass these guys? Why do you have to harass them? Why does the guy that's drunk that's starting the wave have to harass me? If we don't do it, people start yelling at us.
Right.
They're like,
That's
screw
true.
you guys. So are we we are the bad people, or are they the bad people? That's the question. I think it's them, because I don't think I'm a bad person. So you guys can let me know too. I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page. We have merch that says Wave Sucks on it because the fucking wave sucks and we don't like it. And I feel like we should be able to say it, and people don't need to jump down their throats. What say you, Treasy?
I never feel the need to yell at people who are doing the wave. I just don't want it done. I just don't. I'm not participating. I have no interest in it.
No.
I don't like it coming through and just distracting shit while I'm trying to. And I've got enough distractions going on with you guys.
Oh yeah.
Right.
There's no
Wally.
And we're having fun out
Mr.
there.
Hand.
But the
Kenny.
I don't know.
Marv.
I
All
don't
these
get.
motherfuckers talking constantly.
I don't get why anyone wants to add calisthenics to the game. Let the athletes be out there and do the work. I don't want to get up. I want to sit and watch the game. I'll get up for a high five, right?
Yeah.
And I'll get up to go to the bathroom because you guys appreciate that I don't piss my pants. Yes. I would if you guys didn't care. But so I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's dumb.
Sucks.
I don't see the point of it. I see it as a distraction to literally everybody. And so I'm not a fan of it, but I'm not going to be the guy yelling at people going, "Don't do the wave." I'm just going to be disappointed in them for their life choices.
How about you, Lo?
I mean, that's absolutely right. I mean,
anything groundbreaking?
No, not really. But what I always find funny is I'm always tempted to do a heel turn and go pro wave. But the people who shout at us on Twitter are so fucking obnoxious about, let them have their fun. Don't care about who you inconvenience. These are the people who they don't care who they inconvenience when they're having their fun, as long as they get to have it. But fuck you if you want to watch the game. Piss off if you want to watch the game. If you paid and you want to see that shit. That's how they're indignant. Basically, they're indignant assholes. So people who clap back at us oh, you guys, you're anti-fun. No, just get the fuck out of the way. I'm trying to watch this game. All right.
We're anti-wave when it's a one-run game in the third. We don't need that shit happening.
Yes.
And that's the thing. People are like, well, they're just having fun at the game. And no, they're not. They're just bored as fuck. And they're just trying to do something fun. They're trying to act like, oh, fuck, we don't give those shits about this game. Some guy was telling me, he's like, oh, well, you're not on your phone for 2 minutes during, something. It's like, yeah, maybe I am, but I'm not on my phone standing up in front of people every 30 seconds. It's going, hey, fuck you. You can't see behind me. Hey, don't tell me how to live my fun life, sir. Come on.
We're also on our phone in a downtime in the game. In between innings or in between pitches or a low leverage situation. Not in a prime time when shit's really going on. Now, the Wave the other night, it was a blowout. I didn't really care that much.
It wasn't that bad, right?
It was not a big deal. Fine. I don't really care that much, But you're right. When it's a close game or whatever, cut that Wave shit out, man. Let's watch this goddamn game.
Yeah. No, and so one other little quick thing. Last night I was walking home and I was behind a group of people, and this girl obviously had a ton of Goose Island, was just living life and was enjoying herself. But then she's like, we're in fucking Bridgeport. And she's like, all these motherfuckers are Sox.
Yes.
Why aren't they out celebrating? Their team just won. Everyone that lives in Bridgeport is a bunch of fucking fake Sox fans. And I took everything within me not to stop and say to her, lady, it's Wednesday night. Like, this is a family neighborhood. Like, we're not going to be. And we just beat the Reds, like, in a meaningless game in September. Like, we're not going to be out, like, on our front porches at 10:30 at night on a Wednesday going, okay, we're going to the playoff. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, if we clinched last night or something, okay, maybe some people would be out getting a little feisty. But, dude, we've had this division locked up for a month and a half. I mean, you got to, like, at some point, you're just like, okay. But, like, she was just like, I'm just really disappointed in all the Bridgeport people. And I was like, man, fuck you. Like, go back. Go back to Pilsen or wherever the fuck you're coming from, or down south, probably some burb, and then just get out.
Don't shoot it at Pilsen.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Shots fired. That's fired.
How you doing, Treasy?
I'm pissed now.
Yeah, don't let him get away with that shit.
You're from Bridgeport, though. You didn't have any rubs against Pilsen.
I am from Bridgeport. But yeah, no, I'm doing good. I don't have a lot to talk about here because there's so much else to talk about tonight. So I'm excited to get into it. But first, Beef, I think you want to give us a little bit of the, our normal little show poll that we're gonna do. I don't know where MSS went.
Oh, there we go.
I hope he's back for this.
Yeah, me too.
Hey!
Oh, there
he is. He's back.
It's hot, bro.
Yeah, I figured you were sweating.
I'm going to wear that to a playoff game, though.
Beef, tell us about the show poll, because I think it needs a little explanation.
All right, so the show poll is derived from a situation that happened at the ballpark the other night. It was Tuesday night. I happened to be getting up. I went with my Sox Summer, Wally Money, go get a round of beers. We're kind of getting close to last call. And we get 6 beers up at the Midwest beer stand there. And I grabbed 2 of them. And each of the guys grabbed 2. That's the amount you can get. And we start walking back towards the seats, and I start going down, and the boys are like, all right, we got to go to the bathroom, so we'll see you later, whatever. And they take off with the beers, not just their beer, and then possibly someone else's beer. Now, I come down the steps, and I have 2 beers in my hand. One's for me, one's for you, Treasy. I hand off the beer to you, and I say, here's your beer that I forget who just bought it. I don't know if it's Wally or MSS.
It was Wally, yeah.
It was Wally? Okay. Here's the beer Wally just bought, and you're lucky because your beer didn't go in the bathroom. The other beers did go in the bathroom just right now. And so when the guys came down, you kind of gave them some shit and everything. And then MSS took a lot of offense to the fact that even that a bought beer for someone else, he took in the bathroom with him, and then he delivered it after he came.
No.
He was very upset about
so what happened?
That's not what happened. But okay.
This is exactly what happened. I'll explain.
Yeah, that's what happened.
So
100%.
If you came down, you told me that the other beers had been in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wally Money comes down. And Wally Money offers me a beer. Now I'm already backed up.
Yeah, I've given you
and it's Tuesday night or whatever it was. And he's like, I was like, no, I'm good. And he's like, no, here's a beer. And I said, look, man, I don't want your fucking toilet beer. And then Wally and MSS got indignant about it.
They did.
About how it was closed, the beer's closed, and it's up on top of the thing, and all this other stuff. Acting like
vacuum sealed, they had it. Everything. They had it cleaned so good for you. I was like,
they had it covered in plastic, so that no piss splashed on it or nothing. What was funny was like I said it like a joke because I didn't need a beer. So I wasn't like empty and I was like, fuck this, I don't want that beer. I was backed up. And so I said it like a joke, but MSS got so pissed about this and like went through all of the physics of how beer comes out of a can and into your mouth.
That's so not true.
And it like I had to just lean into it and just like really, really give it to him about this.
Okay. So for most part, what you said was somewhat true.
Somewhat true.
I brought my own personal beer in there. Wally had a 3-pack.
Wally had the other 3. Okay, got it. And he had the other 2 your guys' beers. Got it.
Yeah, and my beer was my beer, and it was open.
Yeah,
which is probably not the best, smartest thing to do, but hey, I did it. I don't
That's
give
your
a fuck.
beer though. That's yours.
It's
That's
my
fine.
beer.
Yeah.
So anyway, Wally walks in, and he's got now it's still got the plastic ringer on the beers, so he's holding it. Of course. All right, so he's holding it. He gets to the bathroom. He puts it on top of the urinal where the flusher is. Okay. So it's floating up there. When he gets done draining his lizard, he picks it up by the handle, takes it over to the sink, and puts it on top of the paper towel holder. Washes his hands, grabs this thing, walks out. When we came down and you said, Chris is like, I don't want the bathroom beer. I said
toilet beer.
Toilet beer, whatever. I said, I go, here, take this one. It's a Corona that I'm pretty sure you had bought me before, which had not been in the bathroom, was not open. I go, you can have this one. I'll drink the bathroom beer. That's fine. And you're like, no, I don't want the bathroom beer. And I was like, this isn't from the bathroom. This never made it in the bathroom. And then you were like, I'm backed up. But
I didn't know which specific beers were near your dick. All right. I'm sorry. I wasn't in there checking it all out. So I was confused when you were saying, I've got a beer for you where I just came from the bathroom. Now here's a beer. Now, how could I recognize that it was a beer that I bought you previously like an inning ago?
Because I was telling you that.
Well, once you told
you're
me,
being so fucking mouthy.
You were
like, you're laying into me, as you say. And you're not listening to what I'm saying. I go, this was never in the bathroom. This has been down here the whole fucking time. And then you pivoted and said, but I'm really backed up now anyway. So blah, blah, blah. And I told
you assholes that I was backed up initially, and you tried to force a beer on me, which is when I told you to shove your toilet beer back up your ass where it
wasn't a toilet beer.
No,
so that's the thing.
I told Wally that you were there. You responded
Wally,
to it.
Hey, I'm not speaking for Wally. Wally can speak his own thing.
You responded to my initial talk where I told you that I was backed up, and then I was asked again, and then I said no to the toilet beer, and then you said, okay, well, I've got a different beer for you. So I still didn't need one.
But you didn't take it either.
Of course I didn't take it, because I didn't need one.
You're pussy.
See, I like how MSS tries to shift the goalposts because we're talking about the bathroom.
No, I'm
beer.
not.
No one gives a fuck about the other beer. All right, no one cares about the other beer.
I'm telling you what happened.
Concern. I know, but
why I was upset with why I even went into it with him is because this beer had never been in a bathroom. So the whole premise of it being not drinking the bathroom beer. No, we did not, because those were fucking those goddamn Corona premieres or whatever up there.
He's like, look, you can see this
regular ass Coronas.
This one doesn't have pubes on it. You know that's not a bathroom beer.
All he wants to talk about is this one.
No, I'm just telling you why.
Because he was yelling about how
I'm not. Hey,
you don't got to worry about that beer because it was closed.
I am not worried. I was not telling you that you need to drink the bathroom beer. That was not what I was saying. I was saying here is another beer. You can have this. I will drink the bathroom beer.
You did both of those things.
Probably because you were mouthing off. You had Benny Baseball there. Your lawyer was there, so you're like, I'm going to talk shit just in case. It was going off for your boyfriend. I get it.
It was a scene out of what's that? That Las Vegas movie with Hunter S. Thompson. That's basically what my Tuesday night was.
Listen.
Fear and Loathing.
Beer Garden Jim is sitting here saying that he wouldn't drink it either, and the man drinks ham. So shut up, Jim.
Ham.
He would drink the goddamn beer. No, You know where that stuff's been? No one knows where anything's been.
Hams has been in
Doesn't
Minnesota.
matter.
That's your favorite.
It's been
place.
in bathrooms everywhere.
MSS, the entire comments is saying they want nothing to do with the bathroom beer.
Of course they are, because they're all fucking a bunch of pussies.
So here's
like, it's not fun. It's not fun if they agree with me. That very, very rarely do I get the agreed as from the comment section. And I'll say this too.
Here's the best
reason
part.
that they don't agree with me is because if they don't, I can't. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not getting canceled tonight. I'm
going to tell you though what the best part.
Get out of here. Fuck you. My socks are for what
you know why I'm saying it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a slap.
Yeah. I know why it is.
The best part of this whole situation, the best part is this all goes down. Then there's like a moment of silence, and Bonita Stakey, who's 11 years old, just turns and goes, "Why didn't you go to the bathroom first and then go get the beers?"
Hey.
Yes.
That's correct. That's correct.
Like, it's not like you guys wait in line for beers. Me included, right? So it's not like you were in line for so long. You're like, oh, now I gotta piss.
Listen, I didn't know you were gonna be such a bitch about it, and so it wasn't even my decision, to be honest. I brought my beer in there. I did not bring anybody else. So I don't know. I mean, I can't speak.
I like that it wasn't your decision to go to the bathroom, but
it isn't. It was my decision to go to the bathroom with my beer. I didn't carry your beer in there. Rub my dick on it. Well, you didn't do that either.
Next time you will. Next time you will.
Now.
I'll never know. Let's see how the show goes.
Gonna fucking Clarence Thomas your next fucking beer is what I'm gonna do.
Wow.
Look at that. What's that?
That's not a line right there.
You don't remember the Clarence Thomas joke?
I remember that. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was a Coke can, but still.
Is the show poll up?
No, it is not.
This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Good.
He's got to take his computer in the bathroom.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
I got a different question for you guys.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
What are you drinking, and where has it been?
I don't know. Be honest, it could have been in the bathroom somewhere else. I don't know. Fuck.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out from like someone who works at Binny's or something. They're gonna be like, all the beers end up in the bathroom at one point at Binny's.
Yeah, they got like a serial beer raper that goes around and just drags his nuts on everybody's beer, especially the fancy ones.
If it's not worth pissing next to, it's not worth drinking. My sucks on. What are you drinking, man?
I'm drinking the Hazy Dog from our good friends over at Goose Island. These are a double dry hop, double IPA. It is a 8%er. It's a nice hazy Chicago beer, and it will fuck you up. As you know, I am very particular about the freshness of my IPAs, which makes me a snob. I guess not drinking a beer, bathroom beer makes you a snob, Treasy, but we'll see. I want to get those fucking all out there, but I want to drink them quick before they go bad. So, what do you got?
Beef, what are you drinking, man?
All right, I'm drinking. I'm all Goose Island tonight. I'm starting off with the heater. So I got the Next Coast IPA. It's kind of right in the light there. I apologize for that. That's a bad angle.
That's a good can, though.
It is a great can. And
you can take that to the can and drink it, and it'll be fine. Really there's enough alcohol in it.
Take it easy. We're not putting Goose Island in the toilet beer category. Okay, those were Coronas. And then in the fridge back here, I've got some Sox ales that we're going to back it up with. Because Treasy said this is going to be a long show. Are we actually going to talk a little baseball now that we're almost done talking about toilet? Actually, we'll never be done talking about toilet beers. But we're almost done with the toilet beer segment. So it's supposed to be a long show. I'm hoping to rip through a six-pack during the show. Treasy, what do you got up, man?
I wish there was something on our agenda that just said toilet beer.
I wasn't even going to talk about it.
I would have had so many notes for toilet beer.
Let me talk about this. Inside baseball, both my Sox and Treasy did not want to talk about the toilet beer. I said we're talking about the toilet beer. So I hope all of you enjoyed the toilet beer conversation.
What's funny though is if you would have put that on the agenda as just toilet beer, me and MSS would have both shown up with a ton of notes, neither having anything to do with what we just talked about. But
that's true.
So I'm going old school here. I'm just drinking a Modelo. I got some Modelos.
Nice.
Because I figure, here's something that was awesome the other night.
What was
our guy Champ was back in the section vending. It was man, it felt like home. Right? It felt like this is what I've been missing. And so I'm guessing because it felt like there were more vendors out Tuesday and Wednesday I'm guessing we're gonna have full force vendors for the playoffs.
And this weekend.
I'm gonna be relying on those vendors for some delicious Coronas and Modelos.
I like
So
that.
I'm getting hyped up for it.
Now,
Obviously, in the parking lot, I'm drinking Goose.
hold on though, because I think, and I don't know if I can talk about this, but I think I can. There's going to be Goose Island in the stands for the playoffs. They have special cans with special labels. Nice. So we'll be having Sox Golden Ale during the playoffs in the fucking 108. Now, because that first section took so long, I am now drinking a Gator Rider from Goose Island, which is a pina colada hazy milkshake IPA. It is fucking delicious. I will say that. I give it to the guy. I gave a 3-pack to the guys over at Grandstand because I walk by them every game, because they're doing the parking. We're always fist bumping. And they're always like, what are you drinking? What are you drinking? I'm like, oh, my good friends at Goose Island gave me these fancy beers. So I dropped them off yesterday. I'll have to see them tomorrow or Saturday, and they'll have to let me know what's going down, what they liked and what they didn't like. But we gave them one of these. It's a delicious milkshake IPA. If you're into that shit, it's delish.
My Sox Summer, I got to share with you. After the last podcast, mine and Treasy's mom watches the podcast. She's been ingesting it on YouTube. She sends me a text and she says, hey, do you got any extra of that pina colada beer that my Sox Summer was drinking during the show? I'd like to try one. And so on Sunday morning, I drove over a 4-pack to her.
What a nice.
And then later in the day, during the Bears game, she was having it and she really enjoyed it. She said it tastes terrific. So
it does taste good, right?
Yeah, another new Goose Island drinker.
Nice.
Love it. All right. My Sox Summer, you want to pay some bills?
Let's pay some bills. Motherfucking Mazda of Orland Park. Them guys down there off 159th. They have a ton of new and certified used cars available to choose from. Big supporters of all things White Sox. They sell cars, and they're not jag-offs. You know that car you see in the concourse at Sox Park? Actually, I don't think it's there anymore, but it might be. Yep, that's a 2021 Mazda CX-3 SP. Was donated by Mazda of Orland Park to White Sox charities like us 108ers. It's especially me because I dropped $420 there last Saturday. They like watching the Sox, donating money to good causes, and tipping back a few brews. Does that sound like a guy you want to buy a car from? Of course it does. Give them a follow over at Zoom Nation and check out their worldwide webpage, MazdaofOrlandPark.com. They are a Carfax top-rated dealer and take advantage of that $500 discount for Sox fans. Fuck Cub fans. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park, 708-444-3200. Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
I tweeted that yesterday because they had it on the board. And I don't know about you guys, but I have been hungover the last 2 mornings after the Sox games because we have been drinking a lot. Maybe it was the E. coli last night. I don't know. Got me into the next level.
Could be.
But I tweeted that, and the guys down at Orland love the hashtag not jagoffs, one of their favorite ones. Nice. So make sure you tag them in a not jagoff post, and we'll see what happens. I was contemplating not saying the fuck Cubs fans because I didn't want them to hey, we'll take
they got to sell to everybody, right?
Right. Yeah, money's green,
sure.
right? That's what Jordan told us. Republicans buy shoes too. That's what he always used to say. I think. Then he became Republican, so I don't know.
He absolutely said that. That is. Yeah.
So anyway, I did it, but I put the quotes on it so people knew, hey, this is the ad read. I was just very happy that everybody understood that it was an ad read and not me just being a dickhead. But, hey, it is.
Guys, let's get into it, man. Let's do some baseball talk.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's go, baby.
All right, so we're gonna talk a lot of White Sox tonight, guys. It's gonna be weird.
Very baseball-y.
Yep. We're gonna have a lot of baseball for you. We're gonna start off with the Reds series. We just had the Reds series. The Reds sucked. We beat their asses. Next topic. Detroit series. So TA7 is suspended for the Detroit series. What do you guys think of this? Is he going to take this suspension? Is he going to appeal it and move it to next year? Let's clarify first a couple things. He's suspended for in the scrum that occurred.
Yep.
He put his hands on the umpire, which is a big no-no. Bad move.
Yeah, umpire Tim Timmons is the umpire that he supposedly he put his hands on. Yep.
And Tim Timmons to Tim Timmons' credit, got in there right away and kept shit from being real bad. So
was he the one that grabbed Jose?
He split him up, and then Gavin Sheets, who I didn't realize was the strongest person on the team,
bro. He just fucking grabbed him up like this, man.
It was amazing. The guy I mean, I'm pretty sure Sheets is from Texas. I might be wrong. No, he's from Baltimore. But he definitely played football wherever he came from. He definitely played football there. Because like
you know how my Sox Summer tries to say he's country strong? Gavin Sheets looks country strong.
I'm not. I'm country old.
Yeah.
I'm country old. I eat country breakfasts. You know, that's what I do.
But no. So yeah, go ahead, my Sox Summer.
Just stupid. So stupid by Tim to do that. Like, I mean, you knew like Tim Anderson, and I didn't know that was the same umpire that stopped Jose Abreu from getting suspended for probably 2 years because he was going to murder Goodwin out on the base path just because Goodwin was like said something, right? I mean, the guy hasn't said shit all year, does a very hard but very legal slide, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, you know, the guy's like said something, and Jose was like, fuck you. I've been getting pegged so many times. Now, Tim Timmons legit grabbed Jose Abreu to stop him from getting ejected. I mean, that was just that.
That was a good move.
And I think the reason that he did that is because he knew he's like, oh my God, this guy hasn't done shit all year. And like, he's going to get fucked and he's a nice guy. So I'm going to make sure that happens. Timmy, if you watch that video, legit shoves him, like fucking two arms him. Just a dumb move. Like I was just, this wasn't smart. Definitely a bad lapse in judgment. But thank you to the MLB Players Association. We can like push this off for a whole nother year. He probably doesn't have to serve it till like the next September. Like he probably like, you have 12 months to serve the suspension. So like you can do it next September when maybe the games don't mean as much, or they do. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Timmy, stupid move by Timmy.
Yeah. So the second point of clarification I wanted to make there was that this cannot affect the playoffs. He will not be suspended for any playoff games. This does not roll over. If he keeps the appeal on, he doesn't have to take any games off until next year.
Yeah.
Right. So that is an option. Beef, do you think he's going to take the suspension? Do you think he's going to, push it to next year? Or do you think he's going to eat any of it this weekend?
No, I think he's going to push it to next year. And I think they're going to – the reason why to do that is to give him as many plate appearances as you think he needs this weekend, give him as many reps out in the field as you think he might need to be ready for next Thursday. So why even bother with taking it now? It doesn't really help you in any way, shape, or form. You push it to next year, okay, maybe Tim doesn't start opening day when they have the home opener here. That's okay. We can all cheer bullshit that he's not in the lineup, and it'll be a nice bonding moment for the team. So I think there's absolutely no way he's taking any of those games. I think they're going to kind of push it out, and he'll serve it next year. And it'll be 2 games probably, or maybe even possibly 1. I don't think it'll be the full 3.
Yeah, they're going to bargain it down for good time.
Yeah. Depends on how good he plays. If he plays real good in the playoffs, it might only be 1 game.
I didn't put any Detroit Tigers in that last series. All right, good time. You got 1.5 game suspension now. Well, let's see what happens.
They might. Hey, who knows? They might contract the Tigers by next year. But
That's true.
So the only thing I thought was like, if he takes the suspension now, I'd be a little bit worried about his health going into the playoffs. Because like he doesn't need 3 days off right now,
No.
Right? And we can, the Sox can choose to not make that happen. So like I think they'll push it off. I agree. Let's talk for a minute about the Abreu thing though, because my Sox Summer, you touched on it. Nico Goodrum had to have said something, right? And my assumption when I was watching it was that he said something along the lines of, why are you coming in so hard? Mm-hmm. Don't play like that. After Jose Abreu has been hit by a million baseballs. And I think that would piss me off, right? That's like when, when you're at work or something and you're there for like 15 hours or some shit. And someone's like, oh, you're really cranky today. It's like, I've been here since Tuesday, like one of those, like, I felt like it was like that. It was like, Are you fucking kidding me? Have you seen what's happened to me this year? I'm playing dirty.
What he did though, which was really good, and this is something that people should keep in mind for like softball. Like he pulled his arms back, like, "Oh, I'm not saying nothing," but he was like, "Hey, fuck, don't you fucking do that again, you big bitch." You know, like he was definitely said something, but it made it look like, "Oh, I'm not saying anything." The fuck you did, Goodwin, you dumb motherfucker.
Yeah, when have you ever seen Jose react like that ever? Like
no,
he's never reacted like that.
Doesn't.
So obviously, some shit was said that really ticked him off.
And I'm sorry, Loaf, go for it.
No, I was gonna say it was a hard slide. And it was surely out of Abreu being angry about being hit again. Okay. But the play was totally legal. It was nothing that he did there that would render him getting thrown out of the game or suspension or anything. So I didn't have a problem with it. I guess if people are Detroit fans, they're like, it's sliding hard into my guy. But if it was your fucking guy, I'm sure you wouldn't care. Like it's legal. What do you want us to do? They've cleaned up all the shit where you can really try and injure a guy in that spot.
Yeah.
If you happen to be on the base in the base path and someone slides hard into you, that's it. You're fucked. Too bad. You know, I gotta take the task though. A friend of ours, because I happened to be listening to another podcast earlier today. I was listening to our buddy Aloha Mr. Hands podcast, The Tainted Glove, and him and K Fids were talking about this situation. And it was one, the Reverend, he likes to tell you how baseball is. We're all idiots, and he tells you how the baseball works, right? And he's going on, and he's giving Abreu a ton of shit, right? And I'm listening to the shit, and I'm like, all right, okay. Wait till my man, Mr. Hand, jumps back in here and puts you back in your place about all this bullshit you're talking. And Mr. Hand just let it go. He let him talk all this shit about how it's Abreu's fault and Abreu's a fucking idiot for sliding like that. And Abreu's got to learn to take it when people get hit because retribution with hit by pitches are fine. All kinds of crazy bullshit. And I'm like, Mr. Hand didn't say a goddamn thing. I'm next time I see Mr. Hand, I got to have a little talk with him. It's like, you got to push back on that, brother. Man, you can't let these Cubs fans be running wild on our shit.
I've heard this a few times now about how the hard slide was bullshit. And it's like, you know what? Everyone wants players to throw at the guy the next inning, like, throw at another guy on the team the next inning. Abreu just took the shit into his own hands.
That's right. He's not a pitcher. So here's what he can do.
Let me tell you something. It worked. Because the team came out the next two games that they played and beat the ever-living shit out of the Reds. The Reds aren't a terrible baseball team or anything, right? They go into the above 500 column of the win totals that we're always so worried about. They whooped their ass. The team is awake. Anyone who was like, this team is just coasting into the playoffs, they don't give a shit. They give a shit now.
Yeah.
Jose Abreu, I don't know if it was solely Jose Abreu here or if they just had a great 2 games in a row, but it looked like Abreu said, I've had enough of this shit. I'm going to take someone out at the knees if they don't fucking start respecting me and start pitching me, like they should and not hitting me every 4 fucking seconds like I've got on Barry Bonds armor, And so he went in hard. Fuck them. And you know what? And it woke everybody up. And now I hope that they beat the shit out of the Tigers all weekend.
Yeah, he definitely, like, the Detroit fans, like, firing back and calling Jose Abreu a pussy was so rich. It's like, this is just
come on now,
so rich. The man has been hit, like, and I was just tweeting it. And I'm like, this guy is a saint for not killing a motherfucker after getting hit 21 fucking times in a season. And it's not like, Carlos Quentin used to crowd the plate like a motherfucker. Like, that guy was up in that plate. Jose Abreu's like 6 inches off the plate. Like, I mean, they're just not, like, they don't give a fuck because they're like, he's not going to do nothing. He hasn't done nothing all year. I can pound him. He's fine. Don't worry about it. But I think he needs to get one of those shoulder guards and just, like, start making stuff off or something. Because, like,
MSS, it's funny you bring up Carlos Quentin because I saw Jim Margulis posted like a quote from Paul Konerko back in the day about Quentin getting hit so much and defending him when Quentin charged a mound on Zach Greinke after getting hit. And broke Zach Greinke's fucking collarbone.
Yeah.
And Paulie was like, yeah, that's some of the consequence of you coming inside and hitting a guy like that. You do it too many times, some shit might happen to you. And so this was the shit that might have happened to Nico Goodwin. So Teams should be a little more careful now around Jose Abreu because there are going to be consequences, and they're not necessarily going to be a projectile coming at you. You don't know where this shit is going to come from, so I'd be careful if I had these other teams.
Hey, what did Jack just wrote that he ate his passport? What did he wash the passport down with?
So I was actually reading this article. So I'm working on something for you guys, and it'll come out like a day or two after the season. But I got a lot of like little interesting facts about the Sox in this blog.
Oh,
but
you're writing a blog?
I went and looked for once.
You wrote a blog about it. Okay.
It's rare. It's rare that I'm writing a blog, but I'm writing one. But so one of the things I looked up, because I'd always heard this story, the passport story, and we've all heard it, but I never like looked into it to see like how accurate is this. And I always thought it was just like something he said in an interview or something. This is from a courtroom transcript. Like he said this under oath. And basically what happened was he was on his way from, he was defecting from Cuba, but I think he went through Haiti and then he's coming into the United States. So he had a fake Haitian passport. And they told him, you got to get rid of that before you get to the States. And so he was like, what the fuck am I going to do? So he went in the bathroom, and I don't know if he was going to flush it or what he was going to do, but he said they started banging on the door for him to get out. So he ripped out the pages that had his photo and his fake name on it. He shoved them in his mouth, and he went back to his seat. And then he ordered a Heineken, and he washed down his passport with a Heineken. It's the best use of a Heineken ever. Because I'm not much of a fan of a Heineken, but that's absolutely the best use of a Heineken ever in the history of beer. So that said,
I wish it was a Rolling Rock.
That said, this weekend, who's catching a fastball in the air?
Yes. Can I go first?
Go first.
All right. So ultimately, I'd like Alex Lang to catch it. That fucknuts because. Not because he hit Abreu. You could hit Abreu and you could be like, all right, I didn't mean that. You could tell Abreu, I'm sorry. He didn't. He was a tough guy when he hit him. And then after the hard slide, that numbnuts stepped out there and was talking shit. And that's what really set Abreu off. So this guy, he thinks he's a tough guy. He's a hard guy. I'd like for them to put one in his fucking ear. Unfortunately, he'll probably be DFA'd before the Detroit's even good. So it won't matter. He's not even going to be around. He'll be a vast memory in our head. So I was thinking about this from the standpoint of, okay, the White Sox don't have a real rival in this division right now. Cleveland is a poverty franchise. They're not coming back. They're not going to be a challenger.
Thank you,
Minnesota, Sal. we skull fucked them out of this thing this year, so they're done. They're kind of out of it. Detroit's the next up and coming team, probably, right? They got some prospects, got some decent pitching, whatever. So I want a guy who's I think is going to be there for a while, guys, a prospect, because I want that prospect to develop the hatred for us and for them to have some risk because they're actually going to be here. They're not going to be who knows what, selling insurance like the idiot who hit him. So I'm going to go with Isaac Paredes. Because I think he's going to be on this team when they're good. Detroit's good 2023 or whatever. And so you hit one of those guys. You hit one of the guys who is probably going to be here. You're going to be around this thing. So you take some of the consequence because you're going to stick with this. Not some guy that's going to be, shoveling shit next year. I don't care about that.
Good take.
So MSS, do you have a shit shoveler or non-shit shoveler?
I think it's a non-shit shoveler, and I'm going to go with no one. Like, I don't think anyone should get hit.
Okay.
I think you just move past it. I don't think Goodwin did anything like the consequences of everything fit like probably what he did. He talked shit. We didn't lose Abreu for going crazy, which was good. Like no punches were thrown, so there wasn't anything bad. Like it's just words. So like let's just push past it. Like we got bigger fish to fry coming up. We should not be worried about like hitting somebody and going old school. And I don't even think Tony La Russa.
MSS, I could agree with you here if Goodwin caught a cleat in the balls or something like that. But he didn't get anything. He was unscathed. It was just the threat of something, A guy punched and it was 20 feet away from me kind of thing. Like, I got scared,
Yeah, but what I'm worried about is when Jose gets hit again, because there'll be 3 games and he will definitely get hit at 1 out of the 3 games. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, that's what I like kind of terrifies me because who knows? Like, is Danny Mendick still around? Can we send him in to like fight some people? Like,
can he fight some people? I don't know.
Can
let me lay something on you guys.
You go ahead.
Let me lay something on you because hitting people with the baseball is so cliche now.
Okay.
You see it all the time. This is how you get revenge. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Let's get a little creative, right? Let's bring back a move that I haven't seen in a long time. I haven't seen it since Joey Bell was around. Ground ball, you're gonna break up the double play. You just plow into the second baseman. I'm not talking at second base. I'm talking the second baseman is fielding the ball and you just shoulder him right down to the ground. And then you just walk off the field like that.
Like what?
Break up double plays.
What?
Yeah, I watched the video of it. I'm pretty sure Joey Bell didn't even get kicked out of that game.
No. He was just like, you got a problem with this? All right, I'm going to go. I'm out. I'm going out. I get it.
I'm still playing, all right?
So let
me go cork my bat. I'll be right back.
Guys, if you see one of the, like, if we get to the park tomorrow and it's Zach Collins starting and Yaz is on the bench.
Yep.
RIP in peace, Harold Castro. Because that's the only reason Zach's in there. He's just in there to plow through them. Tony's an old school guy.
Yeah, he is.
He had to have seen that video.
Well,
probably watched it on film. So he knows how to do that. I think that's the way they're going to go.
I also, okay. Josh brought up something very funny in the comment section, or our good friend over there at Sox Machine. He said, the guy you can't count on to fight, which is me, thinks we shouldn't fight. But also, remember, I'm the one that's living dangerously, taking my beers into the bathroom. So I might be a little crazy. So maybe you can count on me. But second, I think that, I had a point. Now I forgot it. But it was very good. It was a good point. Now it's gone. I lost it.
No, thanks for not sharing. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
I don't appreciate that I'm seeing the name Albert Bell in the comments.
You were talking about Joey Bell.
That's a
Joey Bell.
Yeah. That's a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde scenario. All right.
Yeah.
And Joey was the guy that would knock you out. All right. Albert's the guy that played for the Sox.
I remember what I was going to say. Our good friend Josh Nelson said on his live podcast before this podcast, he said that if you see Mike Wright come into the game, somebody's going to get plunked.
He's on the same wavelength as you, Treasy. He's like,
I think it's Jose Ruiz. I think it's Jose Ruiz.
Yeah, it's got to be someone with 99. It's got to be a guy with 99 who
but we're going to need Ruiz. We're not going to need Mike Wright.
What do you need Ruiz for?
That'll be his big contribution.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
All right, well, let's do a health check right now. Let's go through.
I'm good. I feel fine. I didn't shit myself today or nothing, so we're good.
You don't look as good as you're saying, by the way. Just to let you know.
Wow.
Hello.
Fired. So let's go through a few players that are either we're on the real IL or the fake IL. We don't quite know, but let's start with Adam Engel. So MSS Adam Engel. We saw him play this week.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming back. What are you thinking?
Listen, Adam Engel, even if he's hurt, is the best thing we have in right field. Like, I mean, if he's not 100% Adam, that's okay. I'll still take him over 100% Gavin Sheets, probably over 100%, Brian Goodwin. I'll take Adam Engel. Like, I'm just going to risk it with him. When I saw him in right, I was like, who the fuck is playing? Is that? I go, oh my God, that's my man. That's the man of steel. Like, we're good. We're gonna be good. And then he looked a little off. But yeah, I think he's okay. I'll take him in right all day though.
Yeah, it worries me though, because they're like, oh, he's fine, but he's having trouble running.
Yes. He did look like he's having trouble
running. Always a good sign.
The equivalent of going like, oh, Treasy's fine. He's just having trouble drinking. Like if you heard that I was he can't drink today, you'd be like, what is wrong? What's wrong with him?
He wasn't able to fall asleep in his chair sitting straight up. Oh no. You better call somebody.
Beef, what do you think, man?
Treasy, you were mentioning at the game the other night, you're like, man, he's half speed in the field, the bat looks half speed and all this stuff. So I was watching it really closely one inning, and I was getting in there on my camera phone, and I realized something. His dumper is not in proper shape. The unit is not looking 100%. And that's where he gets all of his power from. When you have an ass like that, And then
The
I took a
caboose.
couple pictures of him. I tweeted one of them out. His ass just doesn't look right. It doesn't look as curvy and juicy and wonderful as it usually is. He blew a tire in there, man. I don't know how if we're gonna get him back by the time the playoffs start up.
He's got 3 days. He's got 3 games to get those buns of steel back for the Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
You got any tips, Teresa? You got any tips for him? Like maybe we should talk to Dave and have Dave text him.
It's my ass is mostly fueled by tacos. So maybe we take him over like TBK, get him fixed up.
Yeah,
not a bad idea.
Fancy, those burrito tacos or whatever that you dip in some oil or some shit.
Look, man,
those things still?
I ain't fucking with no Taco Bell bullshit where you wrap a taco in a burrito and a pizza.
This is like legit shit. Real Mexicans I know.
Shit.
That talk about
shit.
Oh damn.
There it is.
Fine. Fuck you, man.
I see how he does. You see how he does? We got white collar jobs, so we ain't real Mexicans. That's how he be doing it. That's how he does it.
That's why he pisses all over my beers in the bathroom.
Wally pissed on your beers, not me.
Mushroom stamp in the beer.
Wally brought the beers in there. You pissed on them. I know how you guys work. All right, listen, Carlos Rodon.
I can't get my hog up that high, bro. Yeah,
come on.
Wally could.
I believe in you, buddy. So Carlos Rodon. Tell me about Carlos Rodon, my sock summer.
Carlos Rodon last night seemed great. Won his 13th game, which is a career high because he's been injured every fucking year he's played in the MLB. He had 1 hit on 5 innings pitched, and like our good buddy Carson Fulmer has shown, even if you're playing bad teams, they can still hit you if you're pitching bad. So the fact that he didn't get fucking rung up last night, he's probably okay. I think he's worth the risk. I would take the gamble, and I'm not worried about him. I would take the gamble on him 9 times out of 10.
Beef, what do you feel, man?
Last night I interrupted your conversation with King Nam. I said in the first innings, like Rodon's only throwing 90 miles an hour. So I tweeted it out, like in the in-stadium thing, it's only 90 miles an hour. And then all the reply guys swarmed over and they were like, all these different theories. He's holding back on purpose. Steve Stone says it's cold out there. I'm thinking we're all sweating, but Steve Stone says it's cold out there. He's got to warm up. The miles per hour will come. I mean, they didn't really come. I think maybe he got up to 92 miles an hour. And so we continue watching and nothing. But then I was thinking about it, and to jump off MSS's point about his performance, which was really good. Remember when we were younger baseball fans, like kind of back in the day, and someone would say, this guy knows how to pitch. And that meant the pitcher knew how to work the hitters and have them guessing incorrectly and have them off balance. And there'd be strikeouts, but it's not like now where it's like if a guy doesn't have 10 strikeouts, it's not a good performance. Yeah. And guys would hit harmless pop-ups and harmless fly balls and ground balls and shit that you were never really felt threatened by during the game. It's just like, okay, he didn't strike everybody out, but there was nothing where you're like, we're worried at all that the other team's even going to have a threat of scoring here. It was just a well-pitched game by Carlos Rodon. That's what he did. He just sort of figured out, hey, I'm going to throw to my spots. I still got my good slider. Like we were talking about, Treasy, you're like, the slider still looks like it works. It's doing just fine. He just went back and pitched. And maybe he doesn't need 98 to be okay for this short period of time. Now, I think long-term, he needs to be able to reach back in there and get a high 90s fastball here and there. But maybe for the next month, he doesn't need it. Who knows?
I think the high 90s pitch is always something that's good to have in the arsenal to just, when you need it, throw it. But the thing that was encouraging was the separation in speeds between his pitches were still as wide as they've always been, right? So instead of throwing, 95 and 87, and on his off-speed stuff, he's throwing 90, but then he's coming back with like 82, 83 mile per hour pitches for his off-speed.
Right.
And
I saw 80 even.
Exactly. You're right, MSS. He got down.
That's just as tricky for a hitter, right? Like, I mean, like it's the same dynamic. He just doesn't have that one pitch that, like, if he needs to go up high against someone and try and blow it by him,
overpower him. Yeah,
he doesn't have that right now.
Right.
And so that's going to be tough. That's going to be something that he's got to deal with and pitch around. And we'll see how he could do that against a really good hitting team like we're going to face in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
You know what was really quiet about that game? So we were all really focused on Rodon. But I don't know if you guys even noticed, but Michael Kopech went 3 innings in that game. So they put Kopech in there, lined him up to either be a short start in the playoffs if they need it of 3 innings, or someone's caddy, one of the starting pitchers' caddies of 3 innings. So they even got him lined up and ready to go. And it's a good offset if Rodon's not going to be throwing as hard, because then Kopech comes in with that big shit and he's throwing really fucking hard. And it was a dominant duo
from the other side.
From the other side, exactly. You know,
right? Like, so I mean, like, that's the thing. If you're thinking I'm only going to get 4 or 5 innings out of Rodon, then you're only going to hopefully only see the other team's hitters, 2 times, and maybe a little bit into the third if he's not doing that well. And then you put in Kopech, and what are they going to start pulling guys that don't hit well against righties? Like, they're not. Like, they're going to stick with their lineup, and that's probably more beneficial against the Tampa Rays than it is against Houston, because Houston's team just hits fucking everybody. But at the same time,
sure
the back and forth there, the switching up of that it does have an effect. You're into a groove. You're getting into a rhythm with how the game is going. That's why some of these guys absolutely suck the third time through their order. People get used to what they're doing. They catch on. They're feeling that rhythm, and they can knock the shit out of these guys. You can break that up with a guy who's maybe pitching below what they normally do, but now you've got a very different pitcher coming from the other side. So that I agree with you. That could be a really good dynamic. Mm-hmm. So next up, I'm just going to throw these 3 all into the same bucket.
Okay.
And MSS, you could just plow right through these like a 6-pack of Trulies.
Yeah, that were just in the bathroom.
Lance Lynn, Andrew Vaughn, and Timmy Anderson. This is the fake IL crew right here.
All right. Tim Anderson, not worried. He's fine. He's gonna be fine. His emotions are gonna take over. Once we get in the playoffs, he's gonna be fine. I'm not worried about him one iota. He's streaky as it is, I think, but once he gets to the playoffs, I feel like it's gonna be like a Field of Dreams type situation. Field of Dreams situation where he's gonna come in and he's gonna like blast out and do okay. Lance Lynn, I think tomorrow we're going to see. Tomorrow we're going to see if he's really hurt or we've just been playing around. I feel like he's going to come out tomorrow, blow the fucking doors off the motherfucker, and we're going to be good. And I'm not worried about him. And if he struggles, you throw him in and have him pitch game 2, which most people think he should pitch anyway, so it doesn't matter. So you got Lucas going to be the one that might go twice. So you're not even really worried about it. So I think that'll be okay. Now, Andrew Vaughn, motherfucker's cooked, dude. Like, that guy has sucked. I went and looked at his numbers. I went and looked at what he's been doing in his last 6 games or 4 games or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Not good. I mean, he's just been sucking. So it is what it is. I think you might want to. I mean, I know we're not doing this part yet. You might want to consider putting him on the roster just in case. Like, somebody gets hurt, somebody goes down. He's been good in that situation, coming in and filling some shoes. But, I wouldn't expect anything from him. I expect more from Larry Garcia than I do, Andrew Vaughn in the playoffs.
I got a separate question for you.
Yeah.
Does Beefloaf look like he's in the witness protection program?
Right now?
Yeah.
He looks like a like an extra from the Cocaine Cowboys documentary on Netflix. They're like, he's got it because they were in the 90s, and so he's got the sleeveless tee, he's got the glasses, and then the hair is kind of poofy. So I think, that's what he looks like.
Dude, I couldn't have been in the Cocaine Cowboys. I was watching some of that. That motherfucker's not one of them guys that's taller than 5'6".
Oh my God!
Like a motherfucker with that crowd, man. I would have been like, "Oh, who's the tall idiot?" They would have plucked me immediately.
You've been the enforcer.
You would have been the human shield.
I would have been, yeah, exactly. I would have been catching bullets. That's all I'd have been catching.
Catching bullets.
So, MSS, I agree with you on a lot of that, and I think that the 2 questions I have, is how many games will Lynn be expected to pitch in the ALDS? Are they looking at him as the guy who's going to throw 2, or is he just out there for 1? And then the other question I have is where are we finding at bats for Vaughn in the ALDS?
Yeah, I know. I mean, you're probably not going to need him, but you're going to. I hope you don't need him. right? Like, I mean, I think he would be last case scenario. Like, if something bad happened, catastrophic, then you throw him in.
I mean, I think Vaughn is the antidote if a team says, all right, we're going to neutralize Gavin Sheets in this high leverage situation and bring a lefty off then, Sheets doesn't really hit lefties, and then you got a usage for Vaughn there. Or if Houston decides to start Framber Valdez, you would use Vaughn instead of Sheets, but that's a limited role. I mean, that's kind of a limited role for a spot, but it's worthwhile. Even if it's 4 plate appearances, it's still worthwhile in my opinion.
Beef,
the problem with him, I agree with the MSS. He hasn't impacted the ball hard. It's not even just that the numbers are no good. It's not like he's hit a fucking screaming shot and someone caught it or something. Like he hasn't done anything where you're like, oh, he looks good. Like he looks like he's back to his hot streak in July. Yeah, right. He hasn't done any of that. I mean, he's been bad. Yeah, he looks tired. You're right. He does look tired out there. And I don't know if it's
banging all them ugly bitches, man.
I don't know if it's still the injury, or if you're right, the guy's just never played this much, and he's just fucking beat.
It's a lot of games.
Yeah,
it's a lot of games. Beef, you mentioned Framber Valdez. I saw something from a Houston podcast, and there's a lot of people that think that he may start game 2. I was a little surprised to hear that, but I think that they think going into the playoffs, there's 2 hot pitchers from them. We'll get to this in a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's he could be the number 2 starter in the playoffs, which is interesting because I had them all lined up for that first home game. But we'll see.
Dude was, I mean, what's interesting about him in general, Treasy, is before the season, dude was going to be out for a whole year. Remember? He fucking broke his hand or whatever, and he's like, nah. And he kept pitching in that game in spring training, and he's like, nah, I don't want to. Let's see if we can get a second opinion. We'll see if we let this heal. He sat for a couple months, came back, and he's been great.
He's been very good. All right, last guy we want to talk about here is one Brian Goodwin, and he's got the back spasms. My suck summer. Yeah. What are you thinking?
I mean, rest in peace, bro.
Yeah,
I think he's done. I think you got to chalk it up. Like I don't know what he's gonna add. I mean, if he can't, and honestly, before he got hurt, I don't think he was adding too much to the team.
No, he was struggling.
He was too much to the team anyway. So he was already on a downward trend. We kind of I feel like Tony La Russa has been like a vampire out there, sucking all the talent. That's usually a term I reserve for Coach K, but I'm going to use it in this one for Tony La Russa. Like he sucked all the talent, all these guys, and then he's just casting them to the side. He's just like, I'm done with you. Bring me the next one. And that's why Sheets is doing so well, because he's so strong and so viral. Vitriol. Is it vitriol?
He's virile. He's young and virile,
yes.
baby.
And so he's just sucking off him, but Sheets hasn't hit it yet. Whoa. You haven't got it there. So. Oh, not like that. Not like that.
It was a couple words different from being something. Yeah.
Treasy, now that we can monetize YouTube, you think that's going to cost us our monetization of 38 cents for the show?
Have one of a jock fuck shirt. So I feel that this one's not going to have commercial.
I didn't even.
This one might not be monetization worthy.
You should have told me about that. I didn't even think about it.
I don't care.
I was like, I'm just trying to do our guy a solid. The guy that makes our shirts, he made this shirt, and I got it on the clearance thing for like $4. I was like, I'm never gonna be able to wear this only in the house. So I'm like, I'm wearing it tonight. I thought it would be a fun one. A lot of eyes are on us. I was like, let's wear the jock fuck shirt tonight.
I'm feeling it. I'm not hating on it.
It was actually a choir fuck, not a jock fuck. So that's what the whole irony of this whole shirt. So,
I believe.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, I agree. Jumping on MSS's point, if you're gonna, you don't play a half healthy Brian Goodwin in a playoff game. If you have the optimal, perfectly healthy, perfect working conditions, Brian Goodwin, he's good enough to start against a righty for you if you don't have a better option. And that's why he was great during the middle of the season, because he hits enough against righties when he's healthy and everything's going fine in the middle of a year that he can really kind of help you. When you get to the postseason, you got the best pitchers going, unless he's at top operating order there, there's no spot for him. I assume he's probably going to stay on the IL at least through the first round, and then they'll probably recalibrate, see if there's injuries, when we get to the ALCS.
So So
What about
yeah,
you?
I mean, I agree. I mean, like it's unfortunate that he's unhealthy. Like if he could be healthy and be what he was earlier in the season, where he's just killing righties,
Mhm.
that would be a great guy to have going against Houston. But we're not going to have him. We're just not. It's quite obvious at this point. So with that said, let's look at what the 26-man roster is going to look like. So I'll read off a few names, and then we could just talk about who we think other than these guys might make it. So on the pitching side, obviously Giolito, Lynn, Rodon, Cease, Ronaldo Lopez is going to be there, Michael Kopech, Liam Hendricks, Craig Kimbrell, Garrett Crochet, Aaron Bummer, Ryan Tepera. Now,
hurt.
Tepera's going to be back. He's got a cut on his finger.
Yeah, it's like, you remember how you had those metal twist off bottles from like Coors Light and everything back in the day?
Everyone just
that's
the
cut he's got. Like
he basically has that. I think he's going to be. I don't know if he's going to pitch this weekend. I think he was supposed to be back for this weekend. We'll see. I mean, of course, if he's not, then we'll have to backfill. Yeah. But so other than them, and I think that's 11 pitchers
12.
there.
That's 11. Yeah, I got 11.
Well, what didn't you get? Like Ruiz or Crochet? You got.
I did not say Ruiz.
Oh, okay. No. You didn't say Ruiz. Okay.
So Ruiz, Burr, and Keuchel are still out there, and so with 11, I assume you're going to grab 2 of them. And to me, what I think they're going to do, I don't love it, because I would actually probably want Burr and Ruiz. I think they could give you a little more. You come in and try and strike someone out, but I think they're going to go Burr and Keuchel. I don't know what you guys think.
I just wonder, and here's where I get worried. I don't think that Dallas Keuchel would be effective as a starter whatsoever.
No.
I also don't think that his mentality. I don't know what his mentality is like to come in the middle of a game and like take over and try to be like a save guy. I don't see him, and maybe he is, and I'm not seeing it. But like, I don't see him as a rah. I'll do whatever you need me to do team guy. Like I see him a little bit selfish, a little bit, that, and I don't know why. Because I mean, honestly, like I don't know much about him more than I know in other people. He's been fucking really like quiet all this year. So I don't, like I just I'm uneasy with him right now.
So the weird thing I was thinking about this. If I was in a situation where, I've burned Crochet the day before, or maybe I pitched Bummer the day before, and I've got like a sticky situation like bases loaded or something, 1 out. Do I want Jose Ruiz in this situation? Or do I want Dallas Keuchel, who might throw a ground ball? Yeah. He might also throw a grand slam.
It's risk reward right there.
It's a 50-50 here. I'm not trying to champion Dallas Keuchel, but I'm just thinking tactically the situations that I might have in the playoffs.
Right.
I have like 4 or 5 guys that could do what Jose Ruiz can do. I have Aaron Bummer, really, who can do what Dallas Keuchel can do. So if I don't want to pitch Bummer every day,
right?
Do I need a Dallas Keuchel?
Or if you use Bummer already earlier in the game, and a situation comes up where you need that guy again,
exactly. Exactly. And so, like, I think that is the way they're going to think through it. And I think that Dallas Keuchel ends up on. I have been saying for the past month that they should just fire Dallas Keuchel into the sun and just forget about it. But as we get closer and as we see who's healthy, as we see what's going on with the team, and as we see that we maybe don't need 14 hitters, it feels like Dallas Keuchel makes this roster, and he comes out of relief, and he's used for that very specific reason of we need a ground ball right now.
Or he's just there. He might not even play.
He's just there, combing his beard.
No, actually, Teresa, your tactical thoughts there,
People
I think,
can
are
touch
accurate.
his beard before they go out there.
But
That's where you can put all the pine tar, and then just go up and just stroke his beard.
It's like, well, I don't got nothing on me.
He got nothing, and then Dallas is over there with his big old black beard. We have figured it out. I'm sorry that we put it out there, Tony. I am sorry.
No, MSS, I think you're right. I think you put Keuchel on this roster because you don't want to ruffle feathers. He's a guy who's got a big contract, and you probably don't use him. But if you do happen to have an extra inning game where you need some length, where you burned everybody already and everyone's been pitching every day, and you get to the 11th inning, Dallas Keuchel can give you one time through the order, in the 11th and 12th innings and kind of get you by or something like that. So I don't think you're seeing him start a game. I don't think there's any way there. I think that his two uses are, as Treasy mentioned, Lukey in a spot like that, or kind of a long relief, kind of in a game that gets longer than you expect, an extra inning game or something. Now, I think where I disagree with you guys, I think you guys were going Burr. I would actually go Ruiz over Burr.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would go Ruiz.
And that's like 50-50.
And the reason why I would go him, you're right. It is like a 50-50. The reason why I'd go with him is because his weakness has been these high leverage situations. You got high leverage arms up the ass on this team. But if a guy gets bumped out of there early in the game, let's say there's an injury or whatever, he'd be fine going in there and getting an inning in the 4th inning and getting a nice clean inning and getting the fuck out of there before it's a high leverage spot. And, he's got big heat and everything. I would trust him in some of those kind of lower leverage spots like that. And those do come up in playoff series. Those kind of things do come up where maybe a guy had to leave the game early. You don't want to use up all your 1 inning guys that are kind of up along at the back of the bullpen, and you got a little spot in there to slide him in there and get him. He gets 4 outs in the middle of the game like that.
Yeah, I don't love Burr or Ruiz, so I like your explanation. I'm sold. But MSS, I swear, when Beef was talking about Keuchel's big contract and giving us some length, I felt like we were talking about something else.
Yep. I was like, who's the girth guy then? Who's the girth?
That's Ruiz. You got the length and the girth, man. Let's not put them together there, That's the combo.
So let's go to the hitters now.
Yeah, right? And I like what Rude just said, too. I'd go with extra position player over either. Yeah, right. Well, wait till we talk about this.
We'll see who you'd go with because I don't know how healthy they are.
That's the problem, right? So let's go through who we got. So we got Anderson, Robert, Abreu, Grandal, Jimenez, Moncada, Lurie Garcia, Gavin Sheets, Cesar Hernandez. I think Billy Hamilton's definitely there. It's a guy you can absolutely use.
Yep.
And then whichever catcher, Zavala or Collins, whichever one you choose is your backup, your Mercedes. And then that's only 11 guys. And so now you got two spots left.
Yep.
Right? And so I assume Adam Engel's if he's healthy, he's going to be there.
Yep.
I'm assuming Brian Goodwin's not healthy, so he's not going to be there.
That's what I'm assuming as well. Yep.
And then I'm guessing Andrew Vaughn is that 13th guy.
Yep.
Not a third catcher, and not another utility infielder.
Right. Like you're not putting. I don't think you're putting Danny Mendick on this roster.
Right. Why would you? In fact, the only thing that could happen that would require Danny Mendick is for Tim Anderson and Lurie Garcia to get hurt, because.
And if they get hurt, you can make a roster move, I believe. If they're like legitimately injured the next game, I think you can make a roster move.
And you've got the infield covered. I mean, like you have it. Like Vaughn has even.
I would say Vaughn can play infield.
Third base.
Yeah.
Right. Cesar Hernandez, Lurie can both play second base.
Yep.
Anderson and Lurie can both play shortstop. Lurie can play third base. Vaughn can play third base. Moncada can play third base. There's. And then you got a shitload of outfielders. None of them are good except for Luis Robert because Adam Engel's a little banged up. But you have tons of them. So that's your 13 guys. Like I don't see what else you grab.
You said Sheets, right?
Yeah, Sheets,
I think Sheets is starting against right-handed pitchers. I think he's in the starting lineup.
Sheets is your DH.
Yeah,
against every right-handed pitcher.
Yeah,
yes,
and Collins,
keep him away from a fucking glove. I don't want to watch.
I mean,
hit, kid.
and Collins and Sebi are like kind of the same deal. 6 of one, half dozen the other. Like I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, maybe defensive edge goes a little bit to Sebi. I doubt it. It's not real. I mean, I don't know.
Defense goes to Sebi, and bat goes to Collins because Sebi doesn't hit. Like we saw the Sebi 3 home run game, but that doesn't. If you subtract the Sebi 3 home run game from his numbers when he was up in the majors, it's absolutely horrifying.
Oh, it's got to be horrible, right?
So let's put it this way: if for some reason you needed a pinch hitter, and you're at the very end of you're in inning 15 of a game,
it's Collins. You want it to be Collins. Right?
You're taking Collins over Zavala.
Because what he did last
inning
year,
15 of a game is the only fucking time either one of those guys should play the playoffs.
Exactly right.
Remember last year when Collins came in to pinch hit, watched fucking 3 strikes, didn't even swing the bat. Fucking great. Fantastic.
I remember that vividly because all the Collins heads blamed Renteria for that.
Oh,
not Collins. I remember it. I was like, "Oh, you're blaming Ricky. All right, I see how this works." If your guy got hit, you would have been fine with it. But
Sebi would have struck out in the same spot, only on 2 pitches.
Yeah.
All right. So look, I think we got the roster. I think the only place that we're gonna maybe disagree is Burr versus Ruiz. Maybe Keuchel versus Burr or Ruiz.
Or if Goodwin ends up healthy.
If Goodwin is healthy, it changes everything.
Yeah, we probably put him on and we pull a pitcher off.
Yeah, Burr goes, away, or Keuchel goes away.
Yeah. You said pull a pitcher off, right? Not the other, right? Okay.
And
he said pull off, yeah.
If Engel is hurt though, again, we're in a whole new spot, and like that gets messy. Like if we only have those 12 guys and Engel's not there, like I don't know what you're doing for that last roster spot. But that said, that's the non-positive pieces of this, having to talk about the very last guys on the roster and figuring that kind of stuff out. That's for somebody else to do. We don't got to deal with that shit. Why are we going to worry about that?
All the money.
You know what we should worry about? What? We should worry about the Sox player that's going to dazzle us, like Randy Arozarena did last year in the playoffs. So, Beef, why don't you walk us through what that even means? Because I was really worried I wasn't even going to spit his name out right because I've had 100 beers.
That's right. So, Randy Arozarena, who's probably going to be good shot, he's going to be the rookie of the year this year in the AL. Last year, played for the Rays. Now, he was planning to be on the roster the entire year. He got COVID. He had to isolate. And while he was isolating, there was like this folk story when they activated him right before the playoffs, and then he was on the playoff roster, that he was doing 500 push-ups a day in his hotel room while he was isolated. So this is like, he had pumped up his power. Randy Arozarena in the 2020 postseason last year for the Tampa Bay Rays. If you guys aren't familiar with this, if people didn't, 108 fans, you didn't really pay attention to the playoffs outside of the White Sox. 20 games. He hit 377 batting average, 430 on base, 831 slugging. He had 10 home runs, 14 RBIs, and 19 runs scored. It was some of the most unbelievable shit I had ever seen. I even told Mrs. Beef today, I said, we're going to do a segment about who's going to be like a Randy Arozarena from last year's playoffs. I said, do you remember who that is? She goes, yeah, that's the guy who hit a home run every fucking day. And he did. He hit a home run almost every day when you turn the playoffs on. Randy Arozarena hit a goddamn home run. And it's like 10 home runs in a playoff series, in a playoff season. Yeah. It's fucking insanity.
Unbelievable.
And, so it
was outrageous.
Let's dream a little bit, the three of us. And who's our White Sox that's going to be like Randy Arozarena? Who's going to flip the script and just have a dominant playoff series?
Beef, I feel like you're going to give us something wild. So you start with your wild hair and your wild pick. I want to hear who this is.
I had nobody else. I had a dream about this guy. I had a dream about this guy 5 years ago. Okay. The dream was fuzzy in a lot of ways, but I do remember you guys were there and it was cold and it was exciting and it was loud. And this man hit an Oppo Taco for a walk-off in what looked like a playoff game to me. Like I said, the dream is not fully, but I knew it was Yohan Moncada. Yohan Moncada hit a Oppo Taco for me. And everyone's been sleeping on Moncada's offense the whole year. And he hasn't really gotten what you think Moncada could do. He hasn't looked like 2019 Moncada. And the power that we know is there hasn't come out of the bat yet. And just kind of all of it hasn't really come together. He's been a good player all year. There's no question about it. And he's a terrific defender.
Consistent.
And he's consistent. He shows up every day. He gets on base, all of that. But I think for the playoffs, he's the man that's going to go off. Yoan Moncada is going to go off on a national stage. That's going to be his coming out party to everybody else. And he's going to kind of show out in a way that's going to turn the people who are like, I don't know about this Yoan Moncada. They're going to come over to the side of everyone loves Yoan Moncada going into this, as we go through this postseason.
All right. I mean, I would love that. That sounds amazing. I can imagine him out there in his little jumper after the game, dancing around, doing his MC Hammer pumps and a bump dance. Like I'm feeling this. I like it.
The too legit.
No, not the too legit to quit. That's some bullshit, man. Deion Sanders is not involved in this.
Oh man. Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, I can do it.
Oh man,
beef is too legit to quit.
He is always too legit.
I gotta be careful. Quit. That might be a gang sign now. I might get shot.
You're gonna get killed by the Hammer gang. They're gonna make you wear pants, the big parachute pants. Wally's still got 6 pairs, so you can borrow some of his.
That's true in the comments, Roxy. I am going with Moncada because of the dump truck. I'm a big fan of the players with the dump trucks.
Loves his ass. Definitely loves his ass.
I don't have an ass. That's why I love other men that have an ass.
True. Your brother took it.
My sock summer. Who you got?
So the guy that I was picked that I'm picking was in the comments, and somebody already said it. And it's a guy that we've been doubting all year, and is still in the top 5 in RBIs and like everything, like just hits everything. It's Luis Garcia. Guy's gonna go the fuck off. I mean, this guy is gonna come in and he is just going to rip shit up. And people are going to be surprised. He's going to be like a Jeff Bloom situation. They're going to be surprised, but Larry's going to be like, I've been doing this shit all year. You motherfuckers been sleeping. So he's just going to come out. That's who if I was a betting man, that's who I would bet my money on my points bet. You know? So
that'd be a wonderful story too, because he's the longest tenured White Sox.
Yep.
He was on the White Sox before Abreu. He's been here. We traded Alex Rios for Luis Garcia. Remember that far back to when the White Sox had Alex Rios. It was a 1-for-1 trade, and they got Luis Garcia. And I'm going to be honest with you, that was a good return for a cooked Alex Rios.
Yes.
You know?
Well, so here's the thing, Beef. Do you remember that trade very well? Because
I think so.
That
it was
trade
a player
was
to be named later, I think. Right?
It was a player to be named later.
He was the player.
Incredibly good for a player to be named later.
Yes.
Like those guys never turn into anything. It's like that's an incredible return on that.
Yes, I agree.
So I'm gonna go a little bit a different direction than you guys have gone, and I'm gonna go with a guy who's just fairly new to the team, and I'm gonna go with Gavin Sheets.
Ooh,
and
I like a Gavin.
You guys know I'm not the hugest Gavin Sheets fan, but
right.
What you asked was who's gonna have that like 800 slugging in the playoffs, and Gavin Sheets, much like the playoffs, is all about home runs.
Yep.
Right. This guy is just a monster power threat if a right-handed pitcher is on the mound. But that's what's interesting about this, because in a game where there's maybe a lefty starter, or a game that Gavin Sheets just doesn't start, there's these pinch hit opportunities where he can just come off the bench and hit a home run, right? There's going to be a lot of moments for Gavin Sheets to come up big with a home run.
Yep.
And that's what he's there for. He's built for this situation. He's a playoff DH because he's a guy who's there for the home run. I'm sorry, current era playoff DH, right?
Correct.
Because you needed David Ortiz back in 5-10 years ago, who was gonna hit 400 in the playoffs.
Yeah, he was your best hitter, basically.
And now David Ortiz obviously also had the power, but
and did tons of steroids.
Go, of course. So
apparently
Sheets,
bought from some drug dealer down in
Sheets is
Dominican.
Well, that was a whole different situation. Sheets has the home run potential, and I think that you're gonna you're gonna see it in this playoffs. I think he's gonna show up big.
I love it.
I like
I
it.
think he's got the potential because you're right. He's a ball go far, team go far situation with him. I mean, so
Yeah.
and he's gonna get the opportunities that are best suited for him because he's not gonna kind of have to deal with kind of the bullshit. He's gonna get righties only. He's not gonna get the lefties. I could totally see this, Trees. I could totally see him throwing down
or dancing in the sheets. I got 2 safe calls though. I had 2 guys that I think are going to have really good performances in the playoffs that I think are easy calls that I didn't make, and I didn't want to say them before you guys did your thing. Jose Abreu, I think he's going to bounce back from like a total shit show in 2020. I know he had like 4 hits or something, but it just he did not get any clutch hits.
He was up in big spots and he didn't deliver. Yeah.
Yep. And I feel like that bit him in the ass, and that like he's gonna come out and he's like, no, this is the motherfucking playoffs. I'm gonna do some shit. And I also think our new kid, our young gun center fielder, Luis Robert, is going to like demolition that motherfucking ball. Yeah. Like it's just I can just see him going off easily. And so I hope it comes to fruition.
I like that. You want to know the other guy I had?
Who?
So
Daniel Palka.
I'm going to describe this player, and then I think you'll know who I'm talking about. Okay. So he's going to be in there late in the game.
All right.
So probably defensive replacement or pinch runner.
Yep.
So a lot of opportunities to make a really great defensive play, or get a stolen base, get a winning run.
I'm watching Luke Taylor's erection just go like this.
Yeah, it should be.
Like this,
it should be, because you know who I'm talking
about. So
high. Right? So I'm talking about Billy Hamilton. But here's the thing. Billy Hamilton, every once in a while, will put one out of the park. And imagine how crazy it would be if you put Billy in as a defensive replacement with a 1-run lead.
Yeah.
Someone comes in, gives up a home run to tie, it ties it up. And now Billy's in like some good hitter's spot.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. And he comes up and like just edges one over like the left field wall. Like just barely a home run, but a home run to walk it off. Like, imagine that at guaranteed rate. The place would be chaos. Like Bruhan Luke would run on the field.
Treasy, what inning?
The helmet to start flying off as soon as he gets out of the batting spot.
Inning would we have to be in, and would it have to start with a 2 at the beginning of it in order for this to actually happen, and where he gets to bat against in a high leverage spot like that?
So here's what it would have to be, and that's why I didn't say that they took the lead.
Okay,
they tied it, right? This team tied up the game. And so you might have, and it'd be extra innings, obviously.
Are you looking at the comments right now?
He's not going to get a chance to hit.
Well, let's think about this scenario, Beef. Let's think about this scenario.
Okay,
it's tied up.
Yeah.
Ryan Stanek's on the mound.
Okay.
And your bench bat is Andrew Vaughn.
Okay.
Are you putting Andrew Vaughn in that spot
over Billy?
Where it's very possible the next inning Andrew Vaughn will have to play right field.
Some outfield position. Yeah, I probably hit Vaughn.
You'd still go right against right? You'd still go? Okay.
I mean, Billy can't hit. Like I know
I just told
Billy.
you he's gonna hit a home run in this spot.
He's gonna hit it. It's gonna happen, Wolf.
You sold me on it. Actually, lead off Billy in the first game. I'm in on this.
I'm a little worried though, because if Bruhan Luke is taking his pants off in the section, if Billy goes yard,
he could do that. Billy don't even have to go yard. He can get his pants off if he wants to.
You know what?
He might get ejected. I don't want that. I don't want that on my.
Hey. Oh, you said ejected. Okay.
Yeah, not erected.
Also,
what kind of underwear
making
you think
fun of my
wearing?
hair right now. I look like Bobby Brown or something. What I actually look like right now is Blaine and Antoine from Men on Film when they had the little hats on, but that's actually my ponytail flipped up over my head.
You kind of look like the guy from Boondock Saints.
2 snaps up in the Zorro Z.
formation.
That's so funny.
I like
All
the
right.
Packers.
Hated it.
Who do you like? I like the Oilers.
All right, before MSS gets canceled,
I'm gonna definitely get canceled for that.
Beef, you got something to tell us?
I absolutely do. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching us on the live stream right now and haven't subscribed, make sure you tickle the undercarriage of that subscribe button and get on board. If you're listening on the podcast feed and have never enjoyed the eroticism that is the YouTube version of this show, just come to youtube.com/FromThe108 and hit the subscribe button. The current goal was 1,000 subscribers, but we hit that shit. So monetization, here we come. Let's keep going, though. Let's try to build them stacks. Let's shoot for 2,000 subscribers now. Keep good going, baby.
Build them stacks. All right.
My Sock Summer, I think we have an announcement.
Next Wednesday, your boys, all three of us, we're going up north. We're going to go over by Wrigley. We're going into the Red Line Radio building, and we're going to fuck some shit up with White Sox Dave. I feel like we're going to be on the regular podcast appearing like next week. So next week, we will be the guests on the podcast. Dave has banished Chief, Eddie, and who's
the other guy?
Fucker? Carl. Yeah, Carl, that guy. He's gone. They're all gone. They're not going to be there. Now, what he has done, and we'll discuss this on the show, is he invited Ken WO. So it'll be the three of us with Bad Guy Radio's very own Ken WO and White Sox Dave going off the top rope, talking all things White Sox, all things playoffs, and just getting funky. We were supposed to do it earlier in the day. Now it is later in the day. So I can only imagine that we will be doing lines of cocaine and drinking shitloads of alcohol. So just be ready. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be fun. I think it's just something that we've wanted to do. I told my wife, I was like, this is really a big deal to me, and it shouldn't be, but it is. I mean, it should be, because I respect Dave and I respect the the Barstool platform. I respect what they have done in terms of building a brand. And I just thought it was very nice that Dave even allows us to come on there as like probably his biggest competition, to be honest. So like bring in your enemies and the guys that are the closest to you, and like let them like shine on your show. So I'm looking forward to it. It's something that I've wanted. It feels like a validation thing for me, which is weird, but I'm pretty excited about it.
I'm
so excited.
We're handsome. We have huge cocks. I mean, he should be scared that we're coming on this show.
Lots of good hair.
Armadillos.
The hair is ridiculous.
I'm more excited than anything to see Dave have to run the show. Like
you know, it's not going to be him.
He banished those guys, and like I don't know who's going to run the show now.
They don't run it. It's the intern. It's Billy.
I'm not saying recording the show. I'm saying like hosting and leading the show, like Eddie does.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, you know what's going to happen? Love's going to take over like he did Sons of Anarchy. We're just going to roll in, and we're just going to be like, this is what we're doing, Dave. And Dave's going to be like, all right, cool. What's that?
MSS is going to end up doing the ad reads for him.
I want to do them. I'll do them.
We got a couple aces in the hole for good content on this show. So everyone, make sure you listen. When that comes out, make sure you listen, because we got some good stuff that we're going to throw out there.
We're going to bust some balls when we go.
We're going to bust some balls. No,
all right. Fellas, I haven't looked at the scores yet. I don't know what we're trending towards, home field or not right now. I don't know. Does anyone know if the Rays won or the Astros won? Either way, we know we're playing the Astros, right? That's who we're going against.
Treasy, I've got a final.
Okay.
Astros 3, Rays 2. So the Astros did win.
So home field is basically theirs. We've got 2 games to jump to even get there. So, and I don't think we have any tiebreakers against the Astros if there's any possible. So, so we're going to the Astros. We're gonna go play there. So let's do a little bit of a preview of what the Astros look like. And for the hitters, Beef, I'll kick it to you. You run us down the hitters. Tell us what we're looking at.
Yeah, sounds good. So we wanted to do a little Astros preview this week, because we're not going to be doing the 108 podcast next week on Thursday, because obviously all of our asses is going to be watching that fucking game no matter what time it is or whatever. Mm-hmm. So just to familiarize the group with the Astros, we're going to start with how they measure up against other AL teams. The Astros are the best offensive team in the American League by a lot of measures. They're first in WRC plus, that's weighted runs created plus, at 115, and 100 is average, so they're 15% above average as an entire team, which is terrific. They have the best batting average in the AL at 266. They have the lowest K rate out of all the teams in the American League at 19.5% of the time they strike out. They're fourth in walk rate. They're third in slugging. They're second in runs scored as a team, right behind the Rays. And even with that 1-run win, I don't think they passed them up yet, so they're still second behind them. They have a squad that has 7 above-average regulars, basically. 7 very good hitters. We'll run them down real quickly here. Kyle Tucker, who's the youngest guy on that roster, is kind of a upstart. He was coming up with the last brand of the cheating Astros. He wasn't quite in that group. He's kind of come up after that situation. Yordan Alvarez, who is like a big scary monster like Eloy, except he's much uglier than Eloy, but he hits like a motherfucker. He's their DH. He's left-handed, 6'5", 225 pounds. They actually made a deal with the Dodgers to get him kind of early on. He's a masher. He's got 32 home runs this year. They've got Yuli Gurriel, guy who got in trouble for a little bit of a racial slur when he made the
that was not good. That was not good.
It was not good. Very good hitter. They have Carlos Correa at short, who's actually going to be a free agent after the season. They have Jose Altuve. Everyone remembers Jose Altuve and him covering his shirt, so you couldn't see the buzzer on him to show additional cheating that they don't want to talk. Oh, he had a tattoo, and then there was no tattoo ever showed up. Jose Altuve is actually having a terrific year. He's got 31 home runs, 114 runs scored. I mean, he's back to vintage Altuve. It's kind of incredible. A guy that was a top 2 pick, Alex Bregman, plays third base for them. Terrific player. He's been hurt a bunch of the year, but a very good player. And then last but not least, and it's kind of a guy I wanted to bring up specifically because White Sox fans in the offseason, a big group of us, wanted this guy to come here. And it's funny that we're going to be playing the Astros in a playoff series, a series in which I think the teams are extremely evenly matched, and Michael Brantley might be the difference. And Michael Brantley is most days he's either an outfield corner or he's playing DH for these Astros. Just the way they were lining it up tonight for their batting order, they were going with Altuve leading off, Bregman second, Yordan Alvarez third. He was actually playing left field, and they play Yordan in the outfield a little bit. He's a horrendous outfielder. He's not like even sneaky good like Eloy. He's just really bad in the outfield. Yuli Gurriel at first, hitting fourth. Kyle Tucker hitting fifth in right field. Correa sixth at shortstop. Brantley seventh at DH. Beyond those guys, they have 2 dead spots in the order, and that's whoever's going to play center field, which they kind of mix up a little bit. They have Chas McCormick, and then tonight they were playing, Jose Myers. So they kind of mix up that spot right there. And then their catcher is usually Martin Maldonado, who doesn't hit at all, but a terrific defender. And so he's kind of in there for that. The other catcher that they have there is a veteran, a guy the White Sox will know, White Sox fans know, Jason Castro. And so Jason Castro is a lefty hitter, a little bit better hitter, not as good a defender, Maldonado. So this is kind of a big, scary lineup. There's names in there that even if you don't follow the Astros closely, you're probably going to know those names. To me, Alvarez is kind of the scariest one. And the biggest difference maker between these two teams might end up being Brantley. One last thing about the Astros as an offense in general, and I mentioned it early on, they have the lowest strikeout rate. The White Sox pitchers are strikeout monsters, and the Astros don't strike out. Now, that battle right there might end up being the difference in this whole thing because the White Sox defense is generally considered well below average. So if a lot of balls are put in play by these Astros hitters, that's generally not good for the White Sox. If the White Sox pitchers are able to strike out the way they've been all season, that's a leg up for the White Sox.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, they're not really susceptible to the strikeout, but maybe they haven't faced enough pitchers like the Sox throw out there, right? Maybe, and that's going to be kind of where it all comes down to in terms of the Sox defense versus the Astros offense. Yeah. And man, when we were talking about earlier, I would love Carlos Rodon to have that 97-mile-per-hour fastball in his arsenal for something like this. And that's why I was, I was hesitant to say that like I'm confident in him going in because there's a lot of guys in this lineup that can really hit, and I think Carlos Rodon can do okay, but I don't think we're going to see what we saw in the beginning of the season when we get against a team like this. It's just not.
Teresa, you're right, and the reason why, some of the reason why Rodon dominated is the Astros' two best hitters by WRC plus. You were going to say that are Alvarez and Tucker, and so maybe that's why having a good strong lefty in there is so helpful.
He still went 7 innings though, which is pretty amazing. And that was like what? It was a 2-1 loss or it was a 1-0 loss or something like that, right? It was a good game, and I think that
was the one in Houston, right? And then the one here. He went 8 innings and he dominated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So both games he did well.
Yeah.
I don't know. And Danny Murray in the comments said it too. Like, that's a scary lineup, and it fucking is.
It is.
When you're looking at these guys, you're just like, oh, who don't we want to see? And it's like there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But we got scary guys too. And listen, guys, we're in the fucking Adult Swim pool now. We're not in the fucking splash pad. We're jumping in. The like we could drown. Okay,
right.
So like you got to be on your fucking toes, and this is what playoff baseball is. It's like you ain't going against the Reds, you ain't going against the Tigers. Like you're going in against teams that are probably as good as you, if not better. So
and you want to work the opponent. I want to whoop a good team's ass. That's how I want to get through this thing. So there's nothing to be scared of. But we just want to introduce you, the 108 audience, to these players that you might not be that familiar with. And they're tough. This could be a tough series, no doubt about it. Tracy,
no matter who we play, it'd be tough on whoever we play. It's going to be tough.
Absolutely.
It's not like they're just letting. This isn't the NBA. They're not letting everybody in the fucking playoffs. Okay, this is an opening round of the playoffs that we never watched, like in '97, '98.
You don't get to whoop up on the Charlotte Hornets in round 1.
No. We never watched round 1 then. You got to watch round 1 in the MLB, not the NBA so much. Yeah.
That's right. Therese, why don't you tell us about the pitching staff with the Astros?
So there's a lot to unpack here. So, there's some names and they're pretty famous names. They're not starters anymore, but they are technically starters. So that gets a little weird. So if we're going to look at the guys that are probably going to be the 4 starting pitchers, we're looking at McCullers, Garcia, Valdez, and Urquidy. And so if we look back at what they've done against us so far, McCullers allowed 3 earned runs over 13 innings across 2 starts against the Sox. Garcia pitched that 7-inning 1-run game. Like, they look terrible against Garcia. Valdez gave up 6 earned runs in 13 and the 3rd innings across 2 starts. And then Urquidy gave up 2 runs in 7 innings in his 1 start against the Sox. So let's go into each of these guys. So McCullers is basically the ace of this staff.
Yes.
Okay. He's a righty. He gets a ton of grounders. He still has some strikeout to him. So it's not quite like a pure ground ball pitcher. But the Sox hit too many ground balls already. So this is going to be a tough matchup for them. But the key here, the key that the Sox have to take advantage of here is that McCullers has had problems with walks this year. He's throwing like 4 or 5 a game. Right. Like, so like this is where you got to be patient and you got to let this guy walk you. You've got to get on base and then you've got to execute. You can't hit into double plays. Like, double play will kill you against this guy. You got to get on base. You got to drive in runs and you got to get him out of the game. Like, that's the biggest thing with every one of these. It's going to be, you got to get these guys out of the game. You got to get to this bullpen. That's the key. It's exactly what teams are going to be looking at our starting pitching, saying, we got to get these guys out of the game. We got to get to this bullpen, right? Because similarly, we don't want to get to the end of their bullpen, just like they don't want to get to the end of ours.
Right. Yep.
So then you got Luis Garcia. Now, this dude's young, so he's already kind of on a pitch count, but he made us look like crap last time. So he's basically a 4-seam cutter. Those are his 2 pitchers. That's all he's going to really throw at you. He's got a couple other pitches, but you're not going to see much of them. And so this guy is actually a guy I think he did well against us, but is a guy that we can probably get to. He's pretty average-ish at most things, right? But the one thing that concerns me here is that he's got a very good whiff rate. Like he gets a lot of swings and misses.
Yeah.
And so that's problematic with the Sox. There's a lot of there's a lot of strikeouts in our lineup. And so that's what they got to watch out. Again, it's all going to come down to plate discipline in these pitchers. Like it's the same story over and over with all these guys. So it's plate discipline and not hitting ground balls, which the Sox suck at both of those, but that's what it's going to take to really get past this team. And then you got Framber Valdez. So now that we know we're probably going to be at home in game 3, and I think they're going to start him in game 3. Some people on Astros blogosphere are saying, he should be the game 2 starter. I'm going to guess they're not going to go lefty, who's not done well against the Sox in game 2. It's a feeling I have.
Yep.
But if he's the lefty pitcher in guaranteed rate for the blackout game, like we have to jump on this guy.
That's
like you got to score 10 runs that game. And so I think, again, you cannot hit ground balls against this guy. He's a sinker pitcher with a bit of a curve. You got to wait for the mistakes. You got to jump on the mistakes and you got to hit the ball in the air. You cannot just go up there hacking because you're going to ground out against this dude. So like, again, patience, wait for the mistakes, take advantage of the mistakes. They did this already. So I know they can do it. And then Urquidy's the last guy. And so there's 3 real guys that could be in this spot. And so Zach Greinke's one of them, as I'm mentioning. Like there's some names on this team, but they're not necessarily what they were. So Greinke, I believe he's pitching tonight or pitched tonight in AAA with the hopes of pitching in the playoffs. But Dusty Baker has said that he thinks that Greinke's going to come out of the bullpen. Greinke was cool with that. So I'm assuming he's not going to be there. The other guy is Jake Odorizzi. Now, Jake Odorizzi is probably not going to take this starting spot, and here's why. 3rd time through the order. OPS against the OPS of the other team is 1.335.
Oh my God.
Basically, if you get up for a 3rd at bat against Jake Odorizzi, you are hitting the ball to the moon. Like there's just like he's not doing well late in the game. There's concerns with him coming out of the pen too, though. I think a lot of people that in the Astros, you're the bloggers and the podcasters, they're like this guy got to warm up like he's going into like going to be a starter and then like work his way through the first couple innings. Like that might not be a guy that translates. Well, much like we're talking about Dallas Keuchel, they're talking about Jake Odorizzi. So there's a question mark there. But Urquidy, he's been good. He's a guy that's not going to walk you. Mm-hmm. So he's maybe the only guy that I would say like the Sox need to be aggressive against and like really go at him because he's going to throw strikes and you gotta hit those strikes, right? He gives up home runs. So like again, a guy that I could see game 3 and 4 being in the rate and us hitting a lot of home runs if it's Valdez and Urquidy back to back.
Yeah.
So that's your starters. Now let's get into the bullpen.
Okay.
So the bullpen's not that deep. So it's Ryan Presley just put Ryan Presley in your head like Astros fans probably have Liam Hendricks in their head.
Right.
Like I don't want to
terrific closer. Terrific.
I don't want to face this guy.
Yes. That's right.
Of course, everyone has a few warts. Ryan Presley has a few. Liam Hendricks has a few. But at the end of the day, if that guy's you don't want that guy in the game. You just don't want to get to that point.
Right.
So interesting things here, though, because Greinke and Odorizzi are likely going to be used to kind of put some more depth to this bullpen because there's not a lot there.
Right.
Everyone below this. So what you've got below this is Ryan Stanek, who I mentioned earlier, and he's mainly your setup guy. He's not that scary. Again, a guy who throws who throws a lot of walks. If you're patient and make him throw a split finger, he just has like no control over that pitch. He throws it, but he has like very little control over it. And I think we saw this a little bit in the series when we played him, where he just came in and was like, well, I'm just going to walk everybody. So that's a guy that, like, again, patience is key. Kendall Graveman was the guy that they picked up at the deadline. So much like Craig Kimbrell, they're like, yes, okay, we got this guy. He's going to come in late in the game. Perfect. Also, much like Craig Kimbrell, the last 3 games that this guy's pitched, he's blown the lead. So, and I'm not saying like just like off the cuff, last 3 games, he probably blew the lead. He literally has blown saves for the last 3 games that he pitched.
Incredible.
So the people in Houston are not happy with Kendall Graveman, and they're like, what are we doing with this guy? So
they gave up Abraham Toro for him. That was a real trade. Like,
it's an interesting piece here of like, what's Graveman going to be in the playoffs? Because he's been very good throughout the season, just like Craig Kimbrell has been very good throughout the season. And so they have a very similar scenario in this pitcher deadline deal. We gave up something we care about for this, and here we are, right? Like, so that's interesting to me. The rest of the bullpen is pretty blah. Like, I want to get to all these other guys, right? Like, I'm not even going to name them because they don't deserve to be named. That's where they're at. But they've got 2 other lefties. That's it. There's only 3 left-handed pitchers on this entire staff, which is why we've been alluding to, like, where does Andrew Vaughn get at bats? But you know what? If they bring one of these lefties in, you want Andrew Vaughn up.
Yeah,
because these aren't, we're not looking at like a shutdown, like Loogie type lefty that's going to come in and like just dominate, right? We're looking at kind of middle reliever lefties on this team. And so, yes, you want an Andrew Vaughn in this spot. So that's kind of where, I see Vaughn getting his at bats, because they're going to use guys. They've got to use them, unless Odorizzi and Greinke take to the bullpen really well.
Right.
That's your biggest concern with all of this, is if Greinke and Odorizzi come out and are just like, like they convert like John Smoltz to the bullpen, you're in big trouble. If they don't, or if Dusty's reticent to use them, then there's a lot that you could get to in this bullpen. So, long story short, too long didn't read. With the exception of Urquidy, be patient.
Be patient.
Be patient at the plate.
And don't pound the ball into the ground. Like you mentioned, Treasy, the ground ball rate. The Sox are second in the AL with the most ground balls. They're right behind the Rangers. The White Sox as a team hit 46% ground balls. That's a lot. Fucking lot.
Whatever Yasmani Grandal does every morning, everyone on the Sox should do that. Just copy his routine through this whole ALDS. He's your roadmap here. He's you stay on this path and just be Yaz. That's all. Be Yaz all series. That's what you got to do.
What if his morning routine involves like maybe his wife? So like everyone come over to the house and it's like, let's see what happens. Like a Houston 500 or something.
You could mimic it in a different way. All right, buddy. Why we gotta go this route with
this? Saying. I mean, like, listen, we're all about authenticity, being authentic, and like, so maybe they need to do exactly what he does. Like eat eggs with avocado, bang his wife. I don't know. Maybe we'll see what happens.
Well, all right. Well, speaking of things like that, and basically intangibles that we're looking at, Sox number. Why don't you give us the rundown of the Houston intangibles, not the Houston 500?
What you guys said. Listen, what you guys said is like, and not total doom and gloom, but also you got to remember, we're one of the good ones now, right, Loaf? We're a good team now. We're against another good team.
You goddamn right, man.
It's not like we're going against another team like we're just surprised to be there. No, motherfucker. We won this division like a motherfucker. So we're coming in hot. We're gonna come in hot, and we're supposed to be there. So like let's just make that happen. Now, first thing tangible. Come out hard against these motherfuckers. Get the crowd out of it, especially when we're there in Houston. We got to get their crowd out, and that's one thing that we did in the one victory that we got against them out there. As we came out, we just destroyed them, and it was great. We got the crowd out of there. They're quiet. Nobody talks shit. It's a fun time. Okay, we can battle. We saw that when we played in the fucking Iowa out there in the Field of Dreams games. We can battle back, and we can hit. We can hang with the big boys. We're gonna fucking do it. With Timmy leading this charge. Remember when Timmy was sitting in the dugout in Minnesota cheering on your Mercedes to hit that 3-0 pitch the fuck out off the turtle? You know, where's that Timmy been? I don't know where that guy's been. We need that Timmy back. I need Timmy on the top step of the goddamn dugout in the playoffs doing goddamn moves from Fortnite. Just it doesn't even matter. I don't know what they are, but I assume it involves a lot of hand motions. Okay, I need that guy out there fucking doing it.
One correction to your discussion, my Sox Summer. The White Sox did not win a game in Houston in the 4-game series. They got swept. So just to correct that, they got swept in that series.
I thought they won one. I looked over that today. Apparently, I've been drinking too much. I apologize. I need that back. Next thing we need a fired up Jose Abreu, which I think we have. So I think he can get people excited. You know, we talked about it. He had a really shitty playoffs last year. Not shitty, but not good. Let's have him come out and not be so fucking flat and get out there and start hitting. I think once he's behind it, getting people excited, getting the other players excited, it's going to be fun. Now, we're also going to need our role players to play the fucking role. I don't need a Zach fucking Collins coming up and looking at 3 fucking strikes and getting struck out. I don't need that. If you're on this team, you got to do something. You got to have that heart. Get out there and fucking show the fuck up every time. Not I'll get him next time. No, boss, you get him now because you might get one fucking shot. So you need to get out there and fucking do what you're supposed to do. One guy that I know we don't really have to worry about, Eloy Jimenez. That motherfucker is getting left field going absolutely bananas on a Tuesday because just going with the fucking hey ho. These guys are going nuts. This guy, I just need Eloy to be Eloy. That's all I fucking need him to do. He's going to be fine. I'm not worried about him hitting. I'm not worried about nothing. I'm worried about him sliding. He might get hurt. I don't know. We'll see what happens. He did that last year. Let's just make sure that he's healthy. That's all. That's the only thing we really got to worry about. He played that joke where he acted, he's trying to go over the wall.
I like that.
That was funny. So let's just keep doing that, smart guy, because we need your fucking bat as much as we need your fucking Gold Glove goddamn defense in left field. All right.
Eloy's funny, but he's not that funny.
He's not that funny. Now, the biggest thing here, I think the biggest thing that we need to focus on in this whole series, we have 2 opportunities to win 1 game in Houston. That's all we fucking need. Because as soon as we're on the fucking south side, we are going to fucking win those games. That's not even a question. So we have 2 chances to go out and take 1 game down there. That's all we need to do. And I feel like we can do it. So you're getting 2 shots at it. So if this team, that's all they fucking need. And the south side, once they come here, dude, Tuesday night, there's 25,000 people there. People were saying that the ticket numbers are off because I bought so many tickets to get bobbleheads. Not true. Okay, totally untrue. That's fucking slander. I'm gonna sue you, motherfuckers. No, there was a lot of people there, and they were loud as fuck. You imagine when we're gonna be fucking nut to butt out there in the 108?
Can't wait.
Seats are gonna be full. God damn it. People are going to be going goddamn bananas. So get ready for this shit because, folks, we're going to see it and we better be fucking ready. It's listen, this monster fucking wave is coming, bro. You're on your surfboard, right? I used to live out west. I don't know if you guys know. Surfing is a very popular activity out there in the ocean. And the wave is coming. It's not stopping. You got to get on it. You got to ride with them, right? Like Timmy said, ride with them. We're on the south side. We're fucking going to win this shit. I mean, it's happening. We just got to take that one fucking game in Houston. If we take 2, even better. But we just need the 1. Let's just get the 1. That's all we got to worry about. So 2 chances, win 1. All right. That's Intangibles by MSS.
All right.
That's what you wanted, right?
Sure.
You brought a lot of fire, baby. That's all that matters.
All right. So one last thing to do here. We got to whack out a player on Houston. I love it. Each of us whack out a key player on Houston. I'm going to go first because I love it. I don't think I'm going to take someone you guys are taking.
Yep.
But because I looked so much at the pitchers, Ryan Presley is getting whacked out. Their bullpen falls apart without that guy. So I'm going right at him, going right for the throat on the bullpen.
Wonderful. I love that idea. I mean, you want to clip out the guy who's at the back of the bullpen, the guy who's been pretty much unstoppable in their bullpen. The only guy they really can depend on back there. I mean, a team that makes a trade for 3 bullpen arms, they might have a few issues. They might have a few holes in their bullpen.
Beef, who you got?
I got a guy who I said earlier on is a big scary monster, and as the great Joe Sheehan would say, ball go far, team go far. That's pretty much how the playoffs work. So I want to get rid of their top home run hitter. That's Yordan Alvarez. If I could move anyone out of this lineup, I would have Yordan Alvarez not be there because I don't like that big, scary, tough bat in the middle of the order. He's an ugly motherfucker too. So even better, we get him the hell out of there. Yordan Alvarez is the guy I would clip out of there if I could.
MSS, who you got?
I'm going to go with their number 2 home run hitter, and it's a 2 birds with 1 stone type guy, okay? We're going to go with the little guy, Jose Altuve. He's got like 31 homers, I think.
Yeah,
and
he does.
Plus, he's also a defensive god. He's very good in the field. Now, if we're going to be hitting ground balls like a motherfucker, like you guys told me we were, let's get rid of this guy because then maybe we get some things through. Who knows? Like that was my thought process. It's like, hey, let's get a guy that we can fuck up on both sides. And that's why I didn't go with Alvarez because I'm like, he plays first base. I mean, who gives a fuck? Like, we need the guys. We need short and second. We got to worry about them. And when you come down, well, he's short and he plays second. So let's go with Altuve.
So let's hope that our words will just get it out there and they won't even want to play.
Right?
They'll just quit. They'll just quit
lay
baseball.
down and die, baby.
Let's quit baseball.
I hear there's some jock fuck over there on the south side that don't want me to play. I'm done. I hear it's really scary over there. I don't want to be there.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. We're gonna have like we said, next week we're gonna be over on Redline Radio. We're obviously gonna be at the home games for the playoffs. We'll be doing all kinds of other stuff throughout this.
We might be working one little other content thing. We'll let you guys know if we figure that out. Treasy and I talked about it last night. Got to fill in MSS with a goofy idea we have. We'll see if we end up working it out. But
if we can do this, it's going to be very bad for our health, but very good for you guys.
Very
bathroom beers central.
Yes. It's we're just going to sit in a bathroom together. It's going to be like the Sunday soak, but it's all of us in one stall. But
a lot of balls on can action. Hell yeah. I'm in.
Just like the good Lord intended. That's right.
But man, so we're gonna be figuring stuff out for the away games. We don't know what time any of those are right now, and that's kind of the problem. So hopefully by Monday we'll know a lot more information, and we're gonna figure some stuff out, and we'll, as much as we can be around you guys for the playoff games, we're going to try and do that. Yep. It might be a little difficult if the game's at like 2 p.m.
Yeah, so, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Well, we'll keep you guys informed. We'll be out there on the Twitter streets doing what we always do, and we will see you all very soon. Go Sox.
Peace.